Hi everybody, John Han with the Pulsing Cinema, and the movie of the day is Stephen King's directorial debut, Maximum Overdrive. Yeah, Maximum Overdrive, based on a short story by Stephen King, Trucks. And the film was made, it was like an 86 or 87 film. It was made by Dino De Laurentiis. Dino De Laurentiis had had a lot of success, or had had a long relationship at least with Stephen King, and he was making films. He adapted Silver Bullet and Firestarter and The Dead Zone from Stephen King stories, and Stephen King. This was the first film that he directed. He wrote the screenplay, and it was kind of put down upon its original release. Stephen King did these trailers for it where he looks at the screen, and it's like, I'm going to scare the hell out of you. And a lot of people rejected that. A lot of people were like, yeah, sure, scare, yeah, try it, pal. And I don't think it did very well. But the film has gone on, like all the other De Laurentiis films, they've gone on and been released on VHS many times, DVD many times. They're staples of cable and video on demand and what have you. And I rewatched Maximum Overdrive recently, and I didn't like it when it came out. I didn't really necessarily like it. It wasn't my favorite film, but it strikes me as a good movie now, and I really do kind of like it. Yeah, I mean, it's just it embodies all the ideals of what King was trying to do in his entertainment. His stories were always kind of like, a lot of them at least, were like blue-collar workers who encounter the supernatural. So they were very meat and potatoes, blue-collar stuff, no matter who you are, you could pick up these stories, and it was stories about the man on the street, And Maximum Overdrive is just a bunch of blue-collar men on the street, a bunch of truck drivers at a gas station, truck stop, who find themselves in this apocalypse, this mechanical apocalypse where everything mechanical around them comes to life and starts trying to kill them, and all the cars start trying to come to life and start trying to kill them. A totally ridiculous premise, but it makes for an entertaining movie full of a lot of gore. There's not really that much sex in the film, but there is, some good violence, some, people, there's a lot of carnage with pretty much every kind of electrical device trying to kill people, cars, ice cream trucks, lawnmowers, everything around them, people tries to kill them. Lead character, a young Emilio Estevez, at this point just kind of, I think this is like the same year or the year after, or just around the same time he made Young Guns. And he was becoming a property, and yet here he is in this fucking, horror movie, But it works. Pat Hingle as the kind of stuck-up boss, of the truck stop, overall, just great character actors, people who've done bit parts over the years, and you see them in this movie, and they're like, oh, they were in Maximum Overdrive, and I mean, the soundtrack is really great. The soundtrack from AC/DC, and the fact that there's a lot of like AC/DC music in this film. It almost scores the entire film. I think there might be some library music or something, a little bit of a soundtrack at some parts. But overall, it's like big parts of this film are AC/DC music, almost like instrumental versions of some of their songs, and it sounds really good. There's for those about to rock, there's like this instrumental that's just driving one particular scene toward the end where they're trying to sneak out of the truck stop at night, that really like got me jazzed up, and it was like, whoa, this is good stuff, I think it was For Those About to Rock, but it was so. It was again another rockin' blue collar score. This isn't like light airy strings or some kind of. This is steel. and it's steel and it's Maximum Overdrive, and the title of the film, Maximum Overdrive, is just very emblematic of where we're going, and this is a balls to the wall movie, and I think he accomplished that. Stephen King, felt he was that the movie was a little out of control. He didn't really know. He hadn't had a lot of experience as a director. I think during the film he had a T-shirt made that in Italian said, "I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing," that he wore on the set and stuff like that. But he made a good film, I think, at the end of the day. It's a film that's still entertaining. How many, 20 years, on, and it's a great little entertaining, horror, action, bits of like sci-fi and fantasy, and definitely fits well into his mood and his style, the Stephen King touch. So yeah, definitely don't be afraid of it. Check it out, Stephen King, Maximum Overdrive.